Okay, hi. My name is John Potter. I am recording this on March the 2nd, and I am in the tutorial that's on Tuesday from 12 to 1:30 p.m. So let's get started. So the first instruction tells us to adjust the column width and height to ensure all data within cells are fully visible. So to do this, select the columns and select the rows, then double click on any of the rows selected, and it'll make the data very clean and nice and all visible. Next, we have to freeze the first row and column, so these are always shown. To do that, go to View, Freeze Panes, freeze the top row, and then also freeze the first column. That looks good. Okay, next we are told to unhide any hidden rows and columns to view all the data. So to do this, I would just select all of the columns again, right click, then click on hide, select all the rows, right click, click on hide. Next, we have to identify and remove any duplicate records to maintain data accuracy. So to do this, you'd want to select the first column to get the transaction records. Then you want to go Home, Conditional Formatting, Duplicate Values, highlight duplicate with light red. Then it shows down here the 5 extra duplicates that we don't need. So I'll just select these 4 and delete. There we go. Next is some bed item descriptions are incorrectly labeled. Correct any mislabeled bed descriptions. So to do this, all we have to do is Control F, find what, BE %D, which is the mistake, and then replace with the regular word bed, replace all, found 6 replacements, and it did it for us. You can see through the data. Lastly, we have to highlight cells with missing data using a yellow highlighter to easily identify gaps in the data set. So to do this, I'm just going to highlight all of the data, then go to Conditional Formatting, New Rule, format only cells that contain blanks, but find places where there's no data, and then fill the boxes, or fill the cells with a bright yellow. Now you can see that all of the data cells without data, or without inputs, are bright yellow. So next we have to append the new data. So to ensure the new data from data 2 is formatted to match data 1 in structure and format. So here's data 2. So first I'm just going to clean this data up a bit, like we did with the first data set. All right, there we go. Ensure the data. Okay, so first we need to just separate these columns and to make them match the data in dataset 1. So let's start in column E. And to match the data in dataset 1, the first column would need to be transaction record. And to do this, to get this, we want to use the formula text before. Then you want to select C2, choose your delimiter. Your delimiter is the comma, and then 1 instance. Double click. have to do. I just have to delete this column. There we go. So next we have the salesperson full name, which for this formula we would need to use text join. So the delimiter would need to be a space to separate the first and last name. We need to use true to ignore the empty cells. And select the first name, select last name, close parentheses, and drag it down. So next in dataset 1 is the date. Put date up there. Then for this we wanted to use the text function and the mid function, as the data is in the middle of cell C2. So to do this, we do cell 2, then find, then our delimiter, which is a comma, then space C2 plus 2, comma 10, and then our format text will be month, day, then year. Exactly the same as the data in the first data set. Next is item description. So for this, it's a pretty long formula. We're going to first want to trim the data, then again use the mid function, C2, then also use the find, use our delimiter, C2, use find again, delimiter, 2, and then plus 1. Find again. Find again. Delimiter. Plus 1. Plus 1 again. Minus find. Delimiter. C2. Find again. Delimiter. Space C2. Close parentheses. Plus 1. Minus 2. And close all the parentheses. Let me just make sure this formula is right. Find Sorry, let me just type this formula in again. There we go. Sorry about that. And now the last one is total sales value. And then the formula for this is very simple. It's just text after, as it's the last value in this. So you can just say after the delimiter of the comma, the third instance is 1584. Now you should have the data separated. So now I want to copy this data in here. Just going to put it in column F like that. Then I'm going to take this data, and copy, and then connect it to this data. Delete the header. There we go. Now we have the data in its correct position. And we just have to replace the references with the new columns. So since we moved the data, all of the like C2, B2 all got messed up. So this one would be H2, G2. We're just trying to match the data above. So this will all be I2. we go. Now the last one, just I2, and then double click down. So now all the data is in its correct column and all cleaned up and nice. So then let's just get the sum for all the total sales value. Let's put it here. Sum of this. Actually, let's do this. $72783. Make this into dollars, and yeah, that's how you do it.